I know Parliament is very interesting at this time, and I can say that actually Honorable Ndindi Nyoro is doing excellent in opposition. And he was telling me quietly, Millie, I learned from you, and you are a good student. You are doing excellent in opposition. I'm of course still struggling on your side. I'll get there, but I'm still struggling. But you are doing well in opposition.
I also want to make some brief comments, Honorable Speaker, and especially in terms of foreign policy. But before that, Honorable Speaker, you allow me to send my most sincere condolences to the families who have been affected by the tragic fire at the Utumishi Girls Academy. Honorable Speaker, this is an incident that have shaken our nation, and we stand in solidarity with all the affected families at this very unfortunate and very difficult moment. And even we said our quick recovery message to all the learners who are currently hospitalized in various areas, and we are together with them in our thoughts and prayers. Honorable Speaker, I also want to welcome all the learners who are here today, and I want to commend them for finding time to come and see how we do our business here in Parliament, and also wish them all the best in their aspirations, because I'm sure majority of them would want to be occupying these positions. We wish them all the best as you go through school. Know that you have a blank sheet of paper currently. You can write anything basically you'd want to become. And because you are all the ages on your side, you can actually become anything that you aspire to be. Start early while you're in school, lead clubs, lead various areas in school. I mean, hone your abilities there so that you continue developing yourself. Honorable Speaker, as I go to the agenda of the day, it is important, Honorable Speaker, that we give a lot of weight and consideration to the foreign policy of our country. Honorable Speaker, the countries and state self-interest is embedded on the policy that we have, that is foreign policy. Currently, Kenya, as it stands, Honorable Speaker, as a developing country, our role should basically be about trade, investments, and production. Because, Honorable Speaker, whatever we do that safeguards our national interests, it should always have fruits to the Kenyan people. And the fruits majorly, and on the economic sphere of it, can only come if we truly embed whatever we do in terms of our internal policies and our foreign policy into ways and channels that spur investments, that spurs production, and that enlarges and grows our economy. And Honorable Speaker, as we say so, because we are clear-minded at where our country is now, looking at the data between what we do between Kenya and Canada, it is evident, Honorable Speaker, that our trade between Kenya and Canada is almost equal, but it's also marginal when we look at the comparative nature of what we do with the other economies. Because we are talking at around only 20 billion Kenya shillings, Honorable Speaker, in terms of trade. But more importantly is about what do we actually trade with Canada. Looking deeper, you realize that Kenya, whatever we take to Canada in terms of exports out of our country, is majorly coffee, tea, and apparels. But majorly, Honorable Speaker, what we export to Canada is what would pass in terms of the calculation of GDP using the production formula as primary production. Whatever we take to Canada, Honorable Speaker, is majorly in raw form, in primary form. Honorable Speaker, again, looking at what we get out of Canada, you see that machinery and especially around aircrafts is one of our imports. The point I'm trying to make is this, Honorable Speaker, that looking at Canada itself, how it grew, because it's way ahead of us in terms of GDP per capita, and the other countries that have grown, Honorable Speaker, it's very difficult for a country and thrive on the basis of primary production. And therefore it is important, as we debate about foreign policy and the officers we are seconding to those foreign missions, Honorable Speaker, that we all retrospect that we also need to make our economy a bit more complex. Primary production alone, Honorable Speaker, is good, and I'm not talking about substituting, but I'm talking about increasing some level of complexity, so that as we trade using the primary production goods, Honorable Speaker, we also continue to make our economy grow to other more productive areas. Honorable Speaker, in terms of production, the more you embed technology, the more productive you become, and the more you produce high-quality commodities, products, Honorable Speaker. And therefore, it is important, even as we look at these kind of scenarios, we look at areas of adding value to whatever we trade with Canada, but even going further by making some decisions that will make our economy much more complex, produce much more complex commodities, much more embedded with much more technology, so that, Honorable Speaker, we can earn much more. Because, Honorable Speaker, if you measure in volumes, the volume we export and the volume we import, whereas the barriers of payment is almost close to the same, you realize in terms of volumes, whatever we import is quite small in volume, because it's technology intensive, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, therefore, having said that, we also have to look at what do we need currently, even as we talk about that medium and long term that I've talked about. That our country now can, even as we try to make our economy complex, we can also do something in increasing the exact products that we actually trade with Canada. And, Honorable Speaker, we look at our current situation. What are we selling more to the world? Number one, of course, being coffee and tea and floriculture, but also, Honorable Speaker, in terms of service, that is tourism. And, Honorable Speaker, and I hope we can always do this as a country, that as we said Kenyans to represent us in various missions, Honorable Speaker, their target should be very clear. And our target currently, what we need as a country, is in terms of increasing our trade volumes and also our trade worth in terms of the amount that we earn. And, Honorable Speaker, it is now time that even as we said these Kenyans in terms of foreign policy and in terms of all the other things they do, they must have a target in terms of looking for the markets of the Kenyan commodities, so that any person working for Kenya in any of the missions abroad, one of the missions and one of the targets they must have is the amount of trade you actually fetch for our country, Honorable Speaker. Secondly, is in terms of marketing our country. Honorable Speaker, if you look at the tourism numbers, Kenya is still too low despite whatever measures that you have done. And there are cases that have shown that, Honorable Speaker, if we get the right people to market our country, we can earn much more when it comes to tourism numbers, Honorable Speaker. Even the marginal increase we have had, Honorable Speaker, we can do more. If you look at a country like Albania, Honorable Speaker, in the last decade, this is a country that previously was attracting just around 1 million visitors, Honorable Speaker. Between 1 and 2 million visitors. And out of deliberate policies to grow tourism, Albania was able to grow their tourism numbers, Honorable Speaker, in a span of a very short time to over 14 million visitors, Honorable Speaker. And we are talking about a country that is quite small compared to Kenya, and that is not as endowed like Kenya when it comes to tourism capabilities and what we can sell. And therefore, there is a lot of things that we can do using the capacity that we have as the country, and especially marketing Kenya is the right place. The other thing, Honorable Speaker, is about diaspora management. Currently, as we know, whatever we get mostly in Kenya is remittances. But we must never confuse remittances and FDI, because we must do both. Whereas remittances is consumerism driven, FDI is investment intensive. It is way in its time, Honorable Speaker, that we must also be creative on how we can make our remittances become more of FDI for investments other than tokens only for consumption that we set back at home. As I go to the conclusion, Honorable Speaker, I have seen a very robust CV of Mr. Watanga. And Honorable Speaker, we know he was an officer in KRA. And that begs the question, Honorable Speaker. We have seen a lot of turnover at KRA.
We adding you 1 minute.
Honorable Speaker, I was just trying to say that Mr. Watanga is an accomplished officer. And we clearly see that, as we know, he was removed from KRA. And it's clear, Honorable Speaker, as we always see, we never give Kenyans, professionals, an opportunity to serve. And I challenge all the people in government, the senior ones, when we get this kind of accomplished Kenyans and we give them responsibility, it is not us leaders who should be advising our advisors. We should let the people who are accomplished and competent do their work, instead of having a mentality that we can do everything as leaders because we occupy big positions. We give these kind of Kenyans an opportunity so that they serve our nation, because they also mean well, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I thank you, and I hope that we can also look at the welfare of the Kenyans who work in our diplomatic missions and improve their welfare. I submit. Okay.
Thank you. Is the honorable member in order to be alluding to the fact that we are the ones advising, the government is the one advising, not us? They are experts. But anyway, I'm in a broad-based. So broad-based is a mongrel. So I'm somehow in government, because I'm also minority whip, but I'm also in government, so I'm sitting in the fence. But Mr. Speaker, because I'm in opposition, am I not? Not opposition, I'm minority.
Minority.
Yeah, otherwise here would have been changed that it would be written majority chief whip, but I'm still minority chief whip. So if I'm fully and completely, absolutely inside, my name should change. But because it has not changed, I am a mongrel. And because of that, Mr. Speaker, I am defending the government, even as you are very happy. I want to tell you, I want to challenge the member. I want to challenge the member that is saying that it's a government that is advising experts. Has he not seen the way Honorable Mbadi is busy advising the government until he's advising on the streets, on air, in the sea, on land? Honorable Mbadi is seriously advising the government, Mr. Speaker.
Very well. We shall proceed. I think, Ndindi, you had done your minutes. That's canter and banter. We allow it in Parliament and any time. I had given you 1 minute and it was very well done. Let's hear Honorable Oundo, who has been waiting, and is also a very good economist.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, for this opportunity
Oundo, you may proceed.
To lend in award in the consideration of a nominee for appointment as High Commissioner to Canada. A motion moved by the Chairperson, Departmental Committee on Defense, Intelligence and Foreign Relations. Honorable Speaker, before I proceed, I find it very weird. Let me use the word very weird. For the Honorable Millie Odhiambo, you can even see the struggle in her voice trying to defend the government. I sympathize with you that put in uncharted waters and make sure you don't drown there and lose your credibility on the international or local platform. Honorable Speaker, I did not attend the vetting process of the nominee, and I want to trust the words and the deeds of the committee. But Honorable Speaker, allow me to bring into focus two absurdities. Number one, the current nominee has been praised and hailed as an extreme expert in public finance. He has been a commissioner at KRA, probably one of the few commissioners from the forgotten Mulembe nation to have served as commissioner of KRA. Honorable Speaker, of course, the circumstances under which he was removed from KRA is a matter of debate outside there, and in the fullness of time, we will know. However, Honorable Speaker, to be honest, and I want to be very honest, this one I'm speaking from my heart, that indeed we are misusing this officer. We are misusing this officer. We are taking this officer to an area where his expertise will not be fully exploited, will not be fully used to support proper governance and development of this country. That is the plain truth. We might want to say, oh, diplomacy is an open field, anybody diplomat will be trained. Honorable Speaker, as much as I'm trainable, I'm not so sure I can become a diplomat. There are diplomats who have trained from undergraduate. What message are you sending to them? They have gone outside that defended this country successfully. Yet, we pick people who would probably have made very good accountant general in national treasury to go send them to a country where a bilateral relationship is a backwater relationship. We don't have much to do with Canada. It might be a big economy, but they don't think Kenya is worth anything. Honorable Speaker, just simple Googling, the volume of trade between Kenya and Canada is a mere 110 US million. Yet, and the only thing we take in Canada is coffee, tea, life plants, cuttings, and apparel. And what we earn there is less than 46 billion, 66 US million. Honestly speaking, and then you are taking such a decorated officer to go and while away there, waste time, rot there, just because, Honorable Speaker, sometimes decisions made in this country are very, very disappointing, are very frustrating. I know if he would have declined to take up the posting, like many others have done before him, he would have been called all the sorts of names by erstwhile colleagues here. Honorable Speaker, I really do not know what we can do. But allow me, Honorable Speaker, to appeal to him on a few matters. As he goes outside there.
Leader, on a point of order.
Honorable Speaker, you know, Honorable Ondo is a very good debater and usually has a lot of substance. But is in order to be insinuating that there are members in this House who attack nominees for no apparent reason, because he just said that if this nominee had declined the appointment, and the nominee has not indicated he's declining, neither can Oundo adduce any evidence to substantiate his claim that they are members, because it's not good to be disparaging members that they are members who attack nominees. Because by the time you are being nominated, you must have known you are being nominated, even before the name comes here. And I do not think I've never had any member insulting any nominee. So I would want to benefit from Honorable Ondo's knowledge of any member who has ever insulted any nominee. Otherwise, it will bring the House into disrepute if we look like a House that attacks nominees who are just nominees and nothing else.
Very well. Honorable Undo, before you pick up from where you left, let me acknowledge in the presence of the public gallery, Iduguri Girls High School from Kandara, Nakuru, who are in Parliament. And on behalf of the House and members, I want to welcome the students in the House.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I was very careful with my words. I did not mention any member that would have warranted a special motion. I was very clear. Chair, Honorable Speaker, I've been here. This is my second term. And luckily enough, before I came here, as they would say, I had seen so many books. So definitely, I'm very careful in my mind in what I say. Honorable Speaker, allow me to give unsolicited advice to the new commissioner or diplomat, high commissioner, going to Canada. There is very little we can do to improve trade relationship or trade volumes between Kenya and Canada, because nothing else we are going to produce that Canada requires. The only thing we'll continue to do is to send coffee, probably tea, and those kind of things. In any case, even our panel, Honorable Speaker, other than produce at EPZA, we do not have anything originally our own. We can sell their brand. So, Honorable Speaker, my advice to him, when he gets there, is to focus on two things. If there is any results capable of coming out, number one, Honorable Speaker, is to focus on labor mobility. I know all the countries in the Western Hemisphere have got an aging population and they do not have enough technical persons or even general labor. Can he go there and work as much as he can to sign the ongoing discussion on labor mobility agreement between Kenya and Canada, so that our many youths who are idling, who have no jobs, yet they were promised that when we take the Bible, jobs will come flowing like manna from heaven. And when you look at our job levels, statistics, are some of the lowest. Honorable Speaker, the second issue I want to advise him to consider is the issue of tourists. Of course, there is a rich country, so they travel a lot for holidays. Like some of us, me and the Honorable Speaker, because of the challenges we have in our constituencies and villages, the farthest we can go for holiday is Mombasa or Kisumu, Acacia. Honorable Speaker, I was in Morocco. I had the benefit of being in Morocco about 2 weeks ago on WSPU function. And I imagine, I was told they receive 20 million tourists every year. Yet whatever they have, their coastline is also short. They have no variety of anything to be seen. Honorable Speaker, Egypt, despite the fact that they have the pyramids, they receive a whole 19, yet Kenya only receives 7.9 million visitors. And surprisingly, Honorable Speaker, only 2.7 are foreign visitors. You can see, Honorable Speaker, how badly we are doing. You can see, Honorable Speaker, how bad there's so much lost opportunity in the diplomatic cycle, because what we do, Honorable Speaker, we send demoralized members who go there to while away, hoping one day they will come back. Honorable Speaker, as I conclude, also allow me to join my colleagues in welcoming the students and the learners in general who continuously visit the National Assembly to come and listen to what we do here. This is what we do. We debate, we interject each other intellectually, and we don't become emotional. That's what we are supposed to do. Also, when you go outside there to debate maturely, objectively, and without getting carried away with emotions. Honorable Speaker, as I conclude, I wish him well. I hope when I go to Canada, I'll visit him and see how he's faring as he represents.
Very well. I think I got the school. I'll take this again. Githunguri Girls High School, constituency Kandara, and counties Murang'a, not Nakuru. They are welcome. Yes, Honorable Muchomba.
Mr. Speaker, thank you very much for clarifying on the school that has visited, because you know these names Githunguri, Kandara, and you know I represent the great constituency of Githunguri, is a bit confusing. But I'm happy to hear that the name Githunguri is spread out all the way from Kiambu County to Murang'a County and to even other counties. No wonder they elected a great woman like myself, yours truly, Wamushomba. I am here, Mr. Speaker, to defend and to convince this House that this nominee we have for Canada is the right nominee, Mr. Speaker. You know, Mr. Speaker, I listened to my very good brother, the Honorable Nyoro from Kiharu, giving us data and tabulated data on how imbalanced balance of trade is between Kenya and many countries. And it is true, Honorable Nyoro, our balance of trade, Kenya versus China, Kenya versus Canada, Kenya versus Japan. It is not balanced. And so we can only balance it by sending the best of the best from the cream of the best. And therefore this nominee, even if he has not proven to us that he has done such kind of activities in the past, from his credentials, this is the person who is supposed to make sure that the differences between the balance of trade between our country and Canada is taken care of. Mr. Speaker, I am very excited because we thought it cannot be done. And finally, it has been done, Mr. Speaker. The bridge between Kenya and China has been met by the recent historical trade benefit bridge that was done of over $4 billion US. I am very excited with the kind of work that has been done by the same representation that has been sent to China. Mr. Speaker, if Chinese balance of trade is going to be corrected, the imbalances between Kenya and China, we are sending the best of the best from now so that we can also correct the imbalances in Canada. Mr. Speaker, it is good to appreciate that those in China have already decided that they are going to make sure they introduce new packages that are going to provide very good platforms for our tea farmers, coffee farmers, avocado farmers, macadamia nuts, and others, so that they can be able to export free access duty to China. If you have already done it in China, Mr. Speaker, I'm arguing and saying this nominee, even if he has not done it in the past, but his papers are good, he can learn from the best, he can benchmark from his colleagues who are already in China, and they have created an opening for our farmers, and we can do it for Canada. So I support the nominee. I support that he can be able to be given this opportunity to move on. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
The Honorable Robert Basil.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. From onset, allow me first to condole the families, the bereaved families of Utumishi Academy. It's a Sunday, Mr. Speaker, to lose so many young ones who are so optimistic to live, and today we are mourning them. Mr. Speaker, allow me to support the motion for nomination of Humphrey Mulongo. And I want to disagree with my brother Oundo that Humphrey Mulongo will actually be whining in Canada. I don't think so. When you look at the task ahead, one of it is to promote Kenya abroad, Mr. Speaker. And by promoting Kenya abroad...
Order. Just go back and do the correct thing. You are now a seasoned member of this House. You may proceed.
Yes. So, Mr. Speaker, if you look at the specific role that is ahead of Mr. Mulongo as a nominee for Kenyan High Commissioner to Canada, one of it is to champion Kenyan exports to Canada, Mr. Speaker. And I was extremely perturbed when I heard that Kenya is almost earning nothing in terms of exports to Canada. But I want to make reference to 2024 statistics, Mr. Speaker. In 2024, Kenya was able to export goods worth $19.7 million US, Mr. Speaker. And it was able to import $131.8 million US. If you look at Canada, Canada was able to import goods worth $58 million US. That was 2024, Mr. Speaker. That is to tell you, Mr. Humphrey has some work to do. He needs to put more energy to promote Kenyan exports to Canada, Mr. Speaker. Importantly, in Kenya, we are grappling with unemployment, Mr. Speaker. Humphrey can be able to negotiate for foreign investments right here in Kenya, Mr. Speaker. I want to borrow leave what happened in the US. The US has been able to attract foreign investors from China and many other countries, Mr. Speaker. Kenya can equally do that if we make it easier to do business right here in Kenya, Mr. Speaker. And Humphrey can be able to champion for foreign investors from Canada to come and invest, open industries right here in Kenya if we put enabling environment from a business front for these investors to come and establish businesses right here in Kenya, Mr. Speaker. Additionally, Mr. Humphrey needs to build bilateral relations between Canada and Kenya. He can actually negotiate for visa-free movement of goods, of services, that is human persons from Kenya to Canada, Mr. Speaker. It has happened in other countries, Mr. Speaker, and that is some homework for Mr. Humphrey to do while at Canada, Mr. Speaker. When I used to live in the US, there are situations of double taxation, Mr. Speaker. And in this case, Humphrey needs to negotiate for double taxation agreements between Kenya and Canada. And if you look at his experience, he has solid experience in taxation, Mr. Speaker. And that's why I disagree with Oudo when he says the guy does not fit for this particular job, Mr. Speaker. He actually fits for the job, Mr. Speaker. Importantly, Mr. Speaker, he has some work to support these citizens, Kenyan citizens living abroad, that is in Canada, Mr. Speaker. Now, based on that duty, I also want to underscore some of the notable achievements of Humphrey, which I think aligns with the responsibilities ahead of his job or ahead of him, Mr. Speaker. And one of the notable achievements, he has been able to digitize the tax system in KRA. He has also been able to do institutional reforms within KRA, Mr. Speaker, and he has also been able to expand the tax base as well as compliance within the Kenya Revenue Authority. And that is to tell you, if you look at these notable achievements and the assignment ahead of him, it actually aligns. And of course, experience is acquired through work. So given this opportunity, I'm sure he should be able to do well. And then academically, Mr. Speaker, this is an experienced person in public finance and with the qualifications which literally aligns with foreign policies, and that aligns with the job that Mr. Humphrey is supposed to do. So with those few remarks, Mr. Speaker, allow me to congratulate him in advance for this appointment, and we look forward to see him registering some remarkable achievement, just as he did as a Commissioner General in KRA. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I submit.
The Honorable John Gitonga.
Thank you. Thank you, Honorable Speaker. And as I do my contribution, I also take this opportunity to actually say my condolences to the families that have lost their very young ones and in Utumishi Academy and Junior School, Honorable Speaker. And also, Honorable Speaker, I wish quick recovery to the kids that are in hospitals. And in this very difficult day, Honorable Speaker, I want to give my poles to those families that are facing quite a difficult time. It is incomprehensible, Honorable Speaker, to imagine losing a loved one and a young one who is in school. Honorable Speaker, on the same breath, I also want to call upon this House to expedite and see the finality of the National Disaster Risk Management Bill that is currently in mediation, a bill that is looking at ensuring that we have equipment and VAT free of charge, Honorable Speaker, without taxation, and putting, Honorable Speaker,
Honorable Gitonga.
Yes, I can be informed, Honorable Speaker.
Proceed, Leader.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Just to inform the member for Manyata that the National Disaster Management Bill, which is a bill I sponsored way back in 2023, has gone through mediation, is completed, and will be assented tomorrow morning.
Thank you. Honorable Speaker, it's good to be informed, but I also say that we need to expedite that because a national disaster, Honorable Speaker, is something that you can't expect. But the preparedness in it, Honorable Speaker, is what really this House must look into. We need also to actually ensure, just like the country we are talking about, Canada, which has, if you read clearly, Honourable Speaker, you'll see from 2023 moving forward, they have increased their budgets in terms of disaster risk management, Honourable Speaker, to ensure we mitigate whenever such an issue comes in. But Honourable Speaker, also, as we discuss Mr. Humphrey, who is a person I knew when he was in KRA, and as we congratulate him, Honourable Speaker, it's good to discuss our very interesting foreign policy, Honourable Speaker. And I agree with the previous contributors on the need for Mr. Humphrey to look at how to enhance our trade between Canada and Kenya, Honourable Speaker, and also, Honourable Speaker, see how we can have even our very produce that we have had value getting to Canada, Honourable Speaker, so that our trade can even be better, Honourable Speaker, and also ensure that we sign even a free trade agreement with this country that have seen even the population of Canadians in Kenya has been increasing immensely in the late years, Honourable Speaker. But, Honourable Speaker, we also need to discuss in a major way, Honourable Speaker. Today, I woke up to news of some agreement of quarantining Ebola victims, Honourable Speaker, from other countries such as the US to Kenya, Honourable Speaker. And I was wondering, such significant agreements, and knowing very well, Honourable Speaker, we are discussing our very weak disaster management and risk management, including things as easy as screening of diseases at the airport, Honourable Speaker. We are having challenges with them as a country. But, Honourable Speaker, when you hear voluntarily Kenya coming in to say we can quarantine Ebola victims, and knowing this disease, Honourable Speaker, is a disease that can spread like wildfire, Honourable Speaker. If you quarantine a patient even at KNH, and you have a cleaner who comes from Kibera, Honourable Speaker, then this country will lose a big population. If you read, you'll notice, Honourable Speaker, that almost 80 to 90% of Ebola patients lose their lives. And that is something that this country must completely, and this House must refuse in the strongest standpoints of Honourable Speaker. And this, Honourable Speaker, also brings a question of how prepared we are. Honourable Speaker, I know sometimes we work to ensure that we have good relations with our Western world brothers, but we cannot be doing the most. We have just had a crisis with our police officers going all the way to Haiti. We had to foot the bill, Honourable Speaker, in a very unfair way. And as we enhance our engagement with Canada, one of the things that I like about Canada is the fact that, yes, they are a superpower, but, Honourable Speaker, you will not find them pushing such and bullying, Honourable Speaker, such issues to a country, a developing country like ours, Honourable Speaker. And it's good, Honourable Speaker, to say that I wonder what would inform even the Ministry of Health or even the President on trying to risk, Honourable Speaker, Kenyans in such a big and a significant way, Honourable Speaker. I have read the CV of Mr. Humphrey, Honourable Speaker. I believe is a man that not only he has done good things for KRA, but he should live with his book well filled on things that he's supposed to achieve as he moved to Canada, Honourable Speaker, to enhance our relations. Honourable Speaker, I support.
Mover.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Thank you for the comments from honorable members. Allow me to profusely apologize to my very dependable member, Honorable Millie, for referring to her as a deputy minority, but rather as a substantive minority whip. She's a very useful member of my committee, and I appreciate her contribution today and always. Honorable Speaker, I want to thank the members, thank also the members of my committee. We did this exercise during the recess. When the rest of the members were having their recess, we were seated having this process. I want to thank them, thank the staff of my committee, thank the honorable members for their useful contribution. And I hope that Honorable Watanga's name might be approved and be considered by this House. Honorable Speaker, I beg to reply.
Very well, honorable members. I now proceed to put the question that taking into consideration the findings of the Departmental Committee on Defense, Intelligence and Foreign Relations in its report on the approval hearing of a nominee for appointment as High Commissioner to Ottawa, Canada, laid on the table of the House on Tuesday, 26 May 2026, and pursuant to the provisions of Article 132(2)(e) of the Constitution, Section 22 of the Foreign Service Act, Cap 185(e), and Sections 3 and 8 of the Public Appointments Parliamentary Approval Act, Cap 7F, this House approves the appointment of Mr. Humphrey Mulongo Watanga, EBS, as the High Commissioner to Ottawa, Canada. Will as many out of that opinion say aye? Aye. Will as many out of contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. Next order.
Order number 13, the Public Finance Management Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 17 of 2025, second reading.
Leader.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I beg to move that the Public Finance Management Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 17 of 2025, be now read a second time. Honorable Speaker, this is a very short bill. It's actually a bill repealing the Public Finance Management Act, sections 191A, 191B, 191C, 191D, 191E. And these sections currently mandate the National Treasury. Repealing? No, the sections.
Order, Honorable Millie and Leader. Proceed procedurally.
Honorable Speaker, allow me to take that again so that Honorable Millie may understand. I said it's an amendment bill that seeks to amend by repealing certain sections of the Public Finance Management Act, those sections 191A, B, C, D, and E, which mandated the National Treasury to enter into standalone agreements with intergovernmental agreements for each and every conditional allocation that they get. And therefore, it created some sort of bureaucratic duplication, because before the National Treasury comes to sign these intergovernmental agreements with the counties, they'll have signed either county participatory agreements or intergovernmental participation and partnership agreements with individual line ministries, and therefore it becomes a duplication. And this has created a lot of bureaucracy that has slowed down the implementation of projects at the county government level. And that is why you find every time we pass the additional county allocations bill, at the end of the financial year, counties are complaining that they have not been able to expend the monies that we had given them under the Conditional Allocations Act after we pass the bills, because they are forced to then have to sign new agreements with the National Treasury. Those agreements have to go through the entire process of public participation again. They had done that before, go through county assembly approvals, and that bureaucracy then has hindered the effective and efficient implementation of projects at the county government level. So this bill seeks not only to support devolution, but also to ensure that there is proper utilization of the resources that we give to our counties under the additional conditional allocations to our counties. Therefore, Honorable Speaker, as I said, it is a very short bill, and all the stakeholders, because the Committee on Finance went through extensive public participation, engaged with a number of stakeholders, and those who have read the report that Honorable Kimani Kuria tabled here some time back will notice that from that, the engagements through public participation, all the stakeholders, whether it's the Council of Governors, the Commission for Revenue Allocation, the National Treasury, and indeed even individual members of the public, were in strong support of this amendment bill, because it is enhancing the efficiency with which we are able to implement projects at the county level. And the quicker the projects are implemented at the county level, the greater services and goods get to the people, whether it is conditional allocations that touch on healthcare, whether it is conditional allocations that touch on water. These are issues that are very sensitive to the people who are being served at the county level of government. And therefore, all the stakeholders are in support of this amendment. I do not see in the report any concerns by members of the public or any of the other stakeholders as to the repeal of these particular sections. And if you look at clauses 4, 5, and 6, that is repealing sections 191C, D, and E, this is dissolving the secondary procedure requirements for gazettement, Senate submissions, and specific control of budget funding requisitions linked to these repetitive agreements. Because again, just like I said, the bureaucratic and repetitive work that you had to do at the county assembly level, you also required to have the same agreements go through procedural gazettement and go through Senate submissions again, and the whole process is repeated again, and therefore it becomes too cumbersome in terms of implementation of this conditional allocations to our county governments. Honorable Speaker, let me finish by assuring the House and indeed the country that these changes to the PFM Act do not in any way interfere or undermine the oversight role or the oversight mechanisms or the constitutional, any of the constitutional safeguards that have been put in place. None of either the oversight role of the county assemblies or the oversight role of the Senate or indeed this House, or even the constitutional safeguards that have been put in place are being compromised by these changes. And therefore, even if you are thinking about the control of budget, that safeguard will still be there, because all the annual county government's additional allocations will still continue to be regulated, and the controller of budget to retain full oversight over all these funds. And therefore, no amount of money, whether it is directly from the Division of Revenue Act or even money that has come under these additional conditional allocations, can be withdrawn from the county revenue fund under Article 228 of the Constitution without the explicit approval of the controller of budget. And that's why I said no constitutional safeguard in terms of the workings of the office of the controller of budget is being compromised in any way. And also the oversight role, both the county assemblies, they will still have to approve, go through public participation on the intergovernmental partnership and cooperation agreements that are signed by the line ministries. So the only thing we are removing is the duplication now at the National Treasury level, because the line ministries, national government line ministry, if it's an intergovernmental partnership agreement with the Ministry of Water and Irrigation or that of Health, that ministry belongs to the national government, and therefore doing the same thing over and over again with the National Treasury is duplication. Finally, Honorable Speaker, allow me to take this opportunity to thank our Departmental Committee on Finance and National Planning, which I said went through these amendments and took them through public participation, very extensive public participation, and put in a lot of work. And I know many of those members are now conducting public participation on the finance bill proposals, and we look forward to receiving their report. So allow me, in the absentia, to thank them for the work they have put in. This is one such committee amongst the committees I mentioned, which during the recess period has been very busy. I don't think there's a single day they have not sat throughout the 3 weeks of the long recess that we just came from, and I must thank them. Honorable Speaker, I beg to move, and I now wish to request the member for Tharaka, the Honorable Murugara, to second the motion.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I rise to second this bill, and by so doing, I fully associate myself with the speech of the Leader of Majority as regards what we are doing today to amend by repealing, that's what it is called, to amend by repealing the 5 sections of the PFM Act, which to some extent are actually a bottleneck to conditional funds going to county governments. The national government has always supported the county governments, and we do this through various laws, which laws are meant to safeguard funds that are going to county governments. They are utilized well for the benefit of the people, or our people, residing in the various counties. So today we remove some bottlenecks regarding conditional grants, where they have had to sign a second or third agreement with the Treasury once conditional grants are being issued. We remove this, and what do we expect in return? An efficient flow of money into the counties so that they are able also to timelessly deliver to the citizens services that they are obligated to actually deliver. We may say this was a bottleneck, as a result of which there was a trickle-down effect. It was trickling down slowly by slowly because it was actually highly squeezed. We are removing it today. May we get reciprocal flow of funds into the counties, and we start seeing the services that are supposed to be delivered by counties being delivered on time, and also exactly to what these funds are meant for, because there is a hue and cry regarding our counties. We cannot go without saying it every now and then, that our governors, even through the press, are being accused of mismanaging funds that are going to counties. Pray and hope this is not going to be abused, because we have enough safeguards to actually sustain the oversight role of Parliament, including the Senate, when it comes to safeguarding these funds. So, Honorable Speaker, I wish to support and second this bill so that we can pass it and county governments can receive conditional allocations without these bottlenecks being a hindrance to them. I do beg to second.
Honorable members, I now propose the question that the Public Finance Management Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 17 of 2025, be now read a second time. Ndindi, Nyoro.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, and I'm happy that Honorable Millie is actually still around from the previous debate, and I can see her struggles. She's actually very lost. I don't even know whether Millie Odhiambo still recognizes Millie Odhiambo as her name. Such a great mind should not belong where she is. You know where you belong, Honorable Millie. Going to the debate, Honorable Speaker, it is good to align the management of our finances, and especially when we have different levels of government, because at the end of the day, the money that belongs to the country belongs to the people of Kenya. It doesn't matter where you are serving them from. In fact, even as we give the service to the people of Kenya as leaders in our various capacities, the people of Kenya never bother to know, and rightly so, whether it is national government or county government. The government must always work coherently to deliver quality service to the people of Kenya. And aligning in terms of how we spend public resources is of importance, so that we don't appear like we are acting in competition. There should always be coherence. But Honorable Speaker, because I don't wish to give many comments, one thing that we must be very aware of is that in the PFM Act, which is a robust act that we use in various ways in terms of management of our resources, it is important that we know it is not a book that exists only for convenience. Any kind of law that we make, including the PFM Act, Honorable Speaker, is usually there because there has been historical incidences. And therefore, out of the laws, we try to streamline how things should be done in the future, which the future could be now the present. And therefore, Honorable Speaker, what I'm referring to, even as we pass these amendments, even as we debate these amendments, it is important that we look at the content of the entire PFM Act and see as a House whether there is merit if we want to take credit out of what it has achieved. And we realize, Honorable Speaker, that there is a lot that leaves so much to be desired. And especially when it comes to management of development projects in Kenya. It's very clear, Honorable Speaker, on what accounting officers should do in regards to development projects. That it does not serve the people of Kenya when we start allocating monies for new projects, when we have ongoing ones that are stalled. Honorable Speaker, even when we are building a classroom, because it's a very good case to understand how this is retrogressive for all of us. If you use CDF money to build a classroom up to rental, and you spend public money, and then you start another one, you do up to foundation, and then you do another one, a hall, up to fourth course, until the Kenyan people can get the utility out of the projects that we implement. All that is money that is lost, Honorable Speaker. Because the utility of the money is in the use. And the use of some of these projects is only when the utility of this project, is only in the use. If you do a road and you leave it without completion, then you start another one and another one, Honorable Speaker. This is something that we have to be very forthright on, and I believe even the Office of the Auditor General can be very keen in this kind of malfeasance in the management of public resources. The other thing, Honorable Speaker, we have passed laws on how to manage our debt in this parliament. And by the way, the current laws of Kenya only permits debt up to 55% of our GDP, with a part of only 5%, meaning maximum of 60. But is that our debt currently? It is over 10% more than that. Honorable Speaker, what I'm trying to say is that we make laws, and especially money that guides, laws that guides how we spend public resources, so that we have order in the management of that money, and also, Honorable Speaker, so that we don't have money getting lost, and so that we also don't overburden future generations using the current spending. And therefore, Honorable Speaker, it is good that we keep on pointing and looking at the public officers who are going against the laws we have passed here in Parliament. Because ultimately, laws must never be books that we keep in ourselves in the offices of government. There should be something that we must follow. For example, now, Honorable Speaker, honestly, why is Kenyan debt more than 70%? Yet all our laws only permit up to 60%. Who are these people who sign extra loans, Honorable Speaker, and extra debt? Is it that it was past time when we passed these laws? I don't think so. They were meant for something. And that something can only be achieved if we abide by the laws that we make and we pass. As I go to the conclusion, Honorable Speaker, the issue of pending bills is actually out of not following our PFM Act. The reason why we have so many people closing businesses here in Kenya out of the vagaries they have gotten by doing business with government as vendors is basically out of some of the people, some of us in government, and especially accounting officers, going against the PFM Act. If we strictly follow it, Honorable Speaker, this term, which is only mostly very dominant in Kenya, will not be there. And there is a spiral effect to it, Honorable Speaker. When we have entrepreneurs who get punished out of doing business with government, Honorable Speaker, we continue to decimate the most important factor of production in the current economy, Honorable Speaker, in the modern economy, which is entrepreneurship and ingenuity and the ability of human beings to produce. Honorable Speaker, therefore, as we debate this, it is important we look at it in entirety so that, Honorable Speaker, we can be able to make all the officers who should follow the laws to follow them, because we never pass them to be in cabinets. I submit, Honorable Speaker.
The Honorable Millie.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I stand to support. And even in supporting, I just wanted to respond to my good brother, Honorable Ndindi Nyoro, before I speak. And Mr. Speaker, I want to say that I want to largely agree with him that I look different in my posturing as a politician for very obvious reasons. And that is because since I joined Parliament, I have largely been in opposition. We were in short stints when we came in the coalition government with Kibaki, the government of national unity with Kibaki, and then we were in a short stint, I think, also with the President Uhuru Kenyatta. But even in those moments, you know, it's an uneasy place because it's not really your government. So in a way, I do agree with you that, and that's why I was saying earlier on that I'm kind of a mongrel. But I want to say that you should actually also look at yourself. You're also very different. And Mr. Speaker, when he was the chairman of the budget committee, he was the greatest apologist for the government of Kenya. And the things now, in fact, when you just oppose the things he was saying then and the things he's saying now, it's actually amusing. But that's the nature of politics. It's the same way I see people putting the things that Honorable Mbadi used to say and the Minister for Energy used to say. And what they say now is very different. And that's why, Mr. Speaker, sometimes I tell people, try as much as possible to live your politics based on principle like myself. Because it's very difficult to eat your words. I very occasionally eat my words. I know because we are fallible as human beings, but I very occasionally eat my words. And that is because I stand by, you know, I go by principle. And you will notice when I think something is wrong, even when I'm fought, I will be quiet out of courtesy. And Mr. Speaker, you can even see on our side, because we are not used to this kind of things. So even when we are supporting President Ruto, we go, we support Ruto, we support Ruto. Why are we fighting when we are supporting President Ruto? Just say, I support President Ruto. Don't fight that you are supporting President. Until like one day, yesterday, I think I had one of our leaders saying, we are going for war. And I'm like, who are we fighting? we are fighting Uhuru Kenyatta, who is not vying as president. We are fighting Rigathi Gachagua, who is rudderless. He doesn't know where he's coming from, where he's going, because he has not even been clear, but we are busy fighting him. So that confusion is all around, especially in our party. So sometimes let some of us who've been here a long time relax and support quietly the way we do. So even if Honorable Ndindi Nyoro...
Let's see Honorable Ndindi, now that you...
Honorable Speaker, I respect Honorable Millie Mabona a lot. But I think it's not a very good trade that this house we keep on attacking people who are defenseless in this house. They are not here. I think even in our references of jokes, we may use the people who are there to defend themselves so that we be fair to everyone.
Great, Millie, you may proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Actually, I didn't actually, yes, please inform me. Now this is part of broad-based.
Millie, do you want to be informed?
Yes, I want to be informed.
Proceed, Leader.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I wanted to inform the Honorable Millie that I was keenly listening to her. And she has not attacked anybody. In fact, she has only advised others.
Yes.
And you know, I don't know why people get jittery when they are advised. I have had others, Honorable Speaker, in the recent few days, saying that, oh, Uhuru has since retired, but retirement should not mean that he's dumb, he cannot speak. But nobody has told Uhuru that he can't speak. Uhuru has every right to speak as the 4th president of the Republic of Kenya. What people have a problem with is a former president undermining another sitting president, and more so, attempting to use a community as his shield when he's doing what he's doing in undermining an administration. But we want the former president to speak. In fact, I'll be very happy to hear the former president speak and tell us what was happening in River Yala when bodies were being fished out of River Yala. I would want the former president, President Uhuru Kenyatta, to speak and tell us what was happening when our economy was captured and subsidies drained the entire economy, when we drained our foreign reserves to almost below $6 billion, Honorable Speaker. I would really want him to speak, and I want him to speak. So let us not be very quick to run to the defense of people who we want to speak, because there are things we want to hear them say. When bodies were being fished out of River Tana, when 2 young Indians who were working for William Ruto were brutally murdered at Nairobi police headquarters here, and their bodies dumped in their badeas, I would want to hear what the 4th president has to say on how those 2 young Indians lost their lives. We want Uhuru Kenyatta to speak. Therefore, Millie, I was just informing you that you have every right to ask people to speak. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr.
Millie.
Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I hope that I'll be given time because information...
No, proceed.
Yes, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I just want to thank Honorable Ichung'wah for his parliamentary and political skills, because he's purporting to inform me when he has actually informed Honorable Ndindi Nyoro. And I hope he has become very, very educated. Mr. Speaker said I support this bill. Let me go to the core of this matter. I know Parliament is very interesting at this time, and I can say that actually Honorable Ndindi Nyoro is doing excellent in opposition. And he was telling me quietly, Millie, I learned from you, and you are a good student. You are doing excellent in opposition. I'm of course still struggling on your side. I'll get there, but I'm still struggling. But you are doing well in opposition. Mr. Speaker, I wish to support this bill. And Honorable Kimani Ichung'wah has explained it very, very well. So I don't even need to go into details about what it is. But it's supposed to clear bureaucracy so our countries get money quickly. But Mr. Speaker, what I'd want us to say though, because I'll only speak to one issue. Mr. Speaker, I think as a house we are failing this country. And the reason why I'm saying we are failing this country, and especially as leadership, and I want to actually challenge my brother, Honorable Kimani Ichung'wah, and all those of us who sit in leadership, that we need to take this issue seriously. Mr. Speaker, if you actually look at the amount of money that goes to NGCDF, and you compare with the amount of money that goes to the county. Mr. Speaker, the other day I was doing calculation, and even if you remove the running costs, the money that goes to counties is almost 5 times the amount of money that goes to constituencies. And I would want to challenge it's 10 times. Thanks for informing me, even though you are informing from your point of wherever, where you are seated. But Mr. Speaker, if it is 10 times, I would challenge every single member to go to your own county and compare village per village. Where, from the moment that we started this devolution to now, Mr. Speaker, it's embarrassing what's coming out of our counties. And we're actually killing devolution, which was a very good idea by our party leader, Raila Amolo Odinga. Would love his legacy to continue. And Mr. Speaker, I know that one of the reasons that Honorable Raila found CDF challenging is because I know he was disappointed at what was going on with devolution. So he was hoping that if he put in a lot more energy and strength with the counties, then it wouldn't actually deem devolution. I want to challenge our governors what is your legacy? People will not remember us for the little things that we do, short-term things that we do. But what we leave that change lives, that transform lives. So with the money that we get, if in CDF we have 1 classroom, with the counties there should be 10 classrooms where there's 1 classroom. So why I'm saying that we are failing is because we are the house that should be providing standard setting and framework. We need to come up with a law that is similar to NGCDF, which is standard setting that controls how our governors spend money. Because right now it's free fall. People use the money the way they want. And even though we get back feedback from the auditors, nothing much is done. Very few people are arrested. And even when there's arrest, like we saw in the former governor of Migori, there's always settlement that tells people that, that there's a level of impunity. So, Mr. Speaker, even though I... can you allow me just 1 minute to finish?
1 minute.
Thank you. And Mr. Speaker, so even though I'm supporting this because it actually enhances the work of the counties and removes all those bottlenecks so that they can work very efficiently, but can we show accountability with what we have right now before we get those conditional grants? So I'm challenging our governors. What will we remember you for? Will we be remembering you because you sang very well, you danced very well, you jammed very well? Let us remember you for for the lives that you have transformed. I support.
The Honorable John Gitonga.
Thank you. Thank you, Honorable Speaker. And Honorable Speaker, this is a very important change. Honorable Speaker, by God's grace, from 2027, I'll be the governor of the great county of Embu, the land of opportunity. And Honorable Speaker, this amendment that ensures that resources that come to counties do not have a lot of bureaucracy and ensure that they get there in time to use, Honorable Speaker, it's an amendment, Honorable Speaker, that I've welcomed in both hands, Honorable Speaker. And Honorable Speaker, I agree with Millie, and when I become the governor of Embu, I will answer the question on where these monies have been going. Because, as you say from your side of view, I also observe the same, Honorable Speaker, that county governments, I was doing a simple calculation for Embu County, and it has received over 40 billion Kenya shillings, Honorable Speaker, which is actually, Honorable Speaker, I would say 10 times, as it has been mentioned, the NGCDF resources that go to the county of Embu. And, Honorable Speaker, you can walk miles before you notice a project from the county government of Embu, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, these conditional grants are among the resources that have transformed many of our counties. Many of the cab rolling that we have seen being done in our small towns, Honorable Speaker, is done through funding by World Bank. We have projects such as KISIP and KUSIP, which, Honorable Speaker, are resources that come through the ministries. And, Honorable Speaker, you find that many of the counties have been blocked from getting these resources because of lack of very clear implementation plan. And, Honorable Speaker, this House must think about the fact that these resources come through the ministries and the procurement happen in the counties. And this brings a new question of oversight. Because today, Honorable Speaker, you will not hear this House discussing line projects of the KISIP and KUSIP projects happening under the Ministry of Housing, Urban Planning and Public Works. And, Honorable Speaker, while we are looking at quickening the way of resources getting to counties, there is also another important issue on ensuring that these resources are used in the right way and they get to benefit our people, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, this also comes in with what has happened in this House, RMLF, among the conditional grants. And you find, Honorable Speaker, these are resources that this House was utilizing to do the roads. But, Honorable Speaker, you'll also find that there is also a lacuna in terms of oversight, because this House cannot oversight counties. And this House actually will allocate these resources to counties. Honorable Speaker, our counties must work. It is now close to 16 years since the new constitution. Honorable Speaker, a county that is not working burdens the next county that is next to it. Today, Honorable Speaker, almost all healthcare officers are actually on strike in Embu. The calls that I'm getting are that the Chuka Level 5 hospital, that is actually the neighboring county, the Rakanidhi, is actually bearing the burden of the dysfunctional healthcare in one county, that is Embu. And this, Honorable Speaker, gives us a lot of questions to ask, because devolution, as Honorable Millie has said, and Raila Odinga, among the people that pushed for devolution, envisioned really transformation that is going to be actually be felt by somebody who has not even gotten to this city, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, you find that even on the matters of pending bills, where you find crazy, nonsensical, unpaid pending bills, Honorable Speaker, is in our county government. And we have seen people committing suicide, people losing their lives and going to drugs. I saw the drama of one young man in Machakos County, Honorable Speaker, crying like a baby, saying, "Why are you not paying me? And I did the work." And Honorable Speaker, this actually is something that should disturb this National Assembly. Honorable Speaker, when we talk of disaster preparedness, and this is among, Honorable Speaker, areas that conditional grants, we have seen donation of fire trucks coming in to counties through the conditional grants. But Honorable Speaker, when it comes to the usage and maintenance of this, you find, Honorable Speaker, that there is always a challenge. And that is why we need to relook and ensure that while we are amending the public finance management bill, Honorable Speaker, we also look at how we can enhance matters to do with checking on those resources, how they are being used. Honorable Speaker, I beg to support.
Very good. Over to reply.
No, we still have one person. Let's see if we can get it. Very well, the Honorable Basil. There was a few minutes, Basil.
Thank you, Speaker. I don't think I'll take too much time. So majority, I know this is a very critical bill that we need to pass. From onset, Mr. Speaker, I want to support this particular bill. That's the amendment of the bill by repealing certain sections of the bill. The goal of this bill, Mr. Speaker, one is to boost efficiency in terms of resources that are transferred to counties, boost coordination between national and county governments, and also promote transparency, Mr. Speaker. And when you talk of the very key objectives of this bill, one of it is to eliminate duplication of funding, Mr. Speaker. And when you eliminate duplication of funding, in principle, you are promoting accountability, particularly from the revenue that this country collects, as well as the money that taxpayers have been pumping to the devolved functions, Mr. Speaker. This particular bill is also critical that is going to improve project fund management, by suggesting creation of dedicated bank accounts, particularly for government projects. This is what is going to yield transparency and also promote proper use of taxpayers' resources, Mr. Speaker. Additionally, the bill or the amendment is supposed to speed the release of funds to county governments. And I will agree with what Honorable Mukunji mentioned, that many counties currently, there are actually a lot of wastage of resources, a lack of accountability. It's unfortunate you build a classroom, and in the same school you build a classroom, the ECD classrooms are in deplorable state, to a point parents, Mr. Speaker, asking you to donate, if possible, the classroom we built to the ECD, which again is against the law. So it is important that we champion the proper use of resources sent to county governments and commit county governments or governors to show value of money that we send to the county government, Mr. Speaker. And then finally, I want to say that as I rest my case and I support the bill is critical to promote service delivery as well as reduce corruption and misallocation of funding. With those few remarks, I support Mr. Speaker, and I rest my case. Thank you.
Mover.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. In the interest of time, Honorable Speaker, allow me to just reply by thanking all the members. All those who have spoken have also been in support of this bill because they appreciate the need to support devolution. As the Honorable Ndindi Nyoro was saying yesterday, that we must support devolution. And I am glad that he is also now recognizing that we indeed support devolution. This will enhance the efficient implementation of projects at our county level of government, and therefore also enhance absorption of the additional county allocations that we appropriate to our county governments. Mine is just to ask our county governors, as Honorable Mukunji has alluded to, that they must be accountable in how they spend this money, and they must implement projects in a timely manner to be able to get value out of those projects within their time. The 5-year period that you are working as a governor, make sure that you can derive value. The same thing Honorable Millie Odhiambo was saying, have legacy projects that will outlive your period as a governor, whether you are serving for 1 or 2 terms. Not what we have seen with many governors across the country, governors using county resources to give freebies to the population, or the people who vote for them, out of political expediency. With that, Honorable Speaker, allow me to reply. I beg to reply.